الذين اصطفى أما بعد فأعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم مثل الذين ينفقون أموالهم في سبيل الله كمثل حبة أنبتت سبع سنابل في كل سنبلة 100 حبة والله يضاعف لمن يشاء والله واسع عليم الذين ينفقون أموالهم في سبيل الله ثم لا يتبعون ما أنفقوا منا ولا أذى لهم أجرهم عند ربهم ولا خوف عليهم ولا هم يحزنون قول معروف ومغفرة خير من صدقة يتبعها أذى والله غني حليم صدق الله العظيم وبلغنا رسوله النبي الكريم ونحن على ذلك من الشاهدين والشاكرين والحمد لله رب العالمين. Surah Al-Baqarah. We are starting the last few ayat, last 15 to 20 ayat inshallah from here today. And in these last ayat of Surah Al-Baqarah, the last ruku comprises of a basic principles that are given to Muslims, and then in these 3 to 4 ruku Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has talked about the principles of spending and finance. So that includes spending, what to give, how to give, where to give, what makes it acceptable, the examples of things that are acceptable to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, what makes spending, what kind of spending becomes unacceptable in the eyes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, what makes that unacceptable, and then rulings about riba or interest, and what is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's attitude or take on this. What is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's command about it? So here we'll start. مثل الذين ينفقون أموالهم في سبيل الله. The example of those who spend in the way of Allah, في سبيل الله. كمثل حبة أنبتت سبع سنابل في كل سنبلة 100 حبة. It's just like a grain that produced 7 ears, each ear having 100 grains. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is giving the example of a grain that was put in the earth, and from it erupted an eruption or a sapling or a plantation which had 7 ears and 7 ears or 7 cobs, and then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala put 100 grains on each of them. Subhanahu wa ta'ala is giving an example of how it is multiplying. The people who spend in the way of Allah, this is how it multiplies. So it becomes a total of 700, and Allah multiplies. Wallahu yudha'ifu liman yasha, and Allah multiplies the reward for whom He wills. Wallahu wasi'un alim. Allah is all embracing, all knowing. So Hazrat Mufassirin have written that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala did not directly say that when you spend in the path of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala multiplies it to such and such fold, but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala explained it through a unique example of a grain that is placed in earth, and then it multiplies, and then it multiplies further. The detail here is that through this beautiful example, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has also hinted at 3 conditions of sadaqah being acceptable. Number 1 is that the grain itself should be a quality grain. So the mal, the wealth that you're spending, that we are spending, that anybody is spending on the path of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala should be halal and clean, pure, well earned. Number 1. Number 2, the earth that is being put in should be good earth, quality earth. The analogy is that where we are spending our money, to whom we are giving it, the purpose of spending should be a permissible one. Sadaqah, wherever it is given, it should be given to spend in a place which is liked by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And the third is that the spender should know well how to spend it. For example, the analogy again, if the farmer does not know how to, is not an expert of how to and to what depth should he put the seed in the earth, the seed will still not bring forth plantation and will not water it properly, the seed will still not bring forth plantation. So the person who's spending it should be spending it with the right intention, with like an expert, with the right intention, not showing off and not using that spending upon whomever he is spending to get favors or to to boast about that spending with the person with whom he spent it or wherever they spent it. So these three rulings make things acceptable in the eyes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And with this example, Hazrat al-Fasirin says Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has explained all three of them. Wallahu yudha'ifu liman yasha. Allah increases or multiplies the reward for whomever He wills. Wallahu wasi'un alim. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is wasi'. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has no limits. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala can extend to whatever extent Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants, wishes and wills. And alim, Hazrat al-Fasirin have written that, but also Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is alim. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has ilm or knowledge of with what intention and with what purpose was that money spent in the path of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So although Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will increase, but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala also knows the intention with which it was spent. If the intention is pure, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will, according to His principle, increase that wealth and reward. Next ayah, الَّذِينَ يُنْفِقُونَ أَمْوَالَهُمْ فِي سَبِيلِ اللَّهِ ثُمَّ لَا يُتْبِعُونَ مَا أَنْفَقُوا مَنًّا وَلَا أَذًى لَهُمْ أَجْرُهُمْ عِنْدَ رَبِّهِمْ وَلَا خَوْفٌ عَلَيْهِمْ وَلَا هُمْ يَحْزَنُونَ. Another reward that has been mentioned in the next ayah is وَلَا خَوْفٌ عَلَيْهِمْ وَلَا هُمْ يَحْزَنُونَ, as we have mentioned before as well, that these people, in the earlier part of Surah Baqarah we read that these people who spend on the path of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, they will have no fear of the past and nor shall they grieve about their future. So they will not have any fear for the future and they shall not grieve their past. لا خوف عليهم ولا هم يحزنون. And who are those people? These are those people الذين ينفقون أموالهم في سبيل الله, the people who spend their amwal or their wealth in the path of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. ثم لا يتبعون ما أنفقوا منا ولا أذى. Do not follow what they have spent by favor or with causing hurt. Manna wala adha. So neither with their tongue nor with their action. As Hazrat Fasni written in the detail, manna is the hint is to boast about it in public with their tongues, and adha is to cause aziyat or cause pain or agony to the person upon whom they have spent through their actions. So they do neither of that. Lahum ajruhum inda rabbihim. These are the people that have their reward safe with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, with their Rabb. وَلَا خَوْفٌ عَلَيْهِمْ وَلَا هُمْ يَحْزَنُونَ. Neither will they have fear for the future. وَلَا هُمْ يَحْزَنُونَ. Neither will they grieve their past. قَوْلٌ مَعْرُوفٌ وَمَغْفِرَةٌ خَيْرٌ مِّن صَدَقَةٍ يَتْبَعُهَا أَذًى وَاللَّهُ غَنِيٌّ حَلِيمٌ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying that قَوْلٌ مَعْرُوفٌ, a graceful word, وَمَغْفِرَةٌ, and forgiving. So this is about a sa'il, a person who's asking, and he's asking, and for example you don't have anything to give. So then to say a good thing or to apologize in a graceful manner and forgiving if somebody consistently keeps on pushing you and asking you and you don't have anything and has a bad behavior towards you and they're asking, forgiving them, maghfirah, forgiving them is better than what? Charity followed by causing hurt. So that if somebody is keeping perpetually asking you, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying it is better to say a nice word to them and apologize and forgive them if they keep on constantly keeping on asking you, rather than give them some money and then follow your giving with causing them hurt or causing them pain. Wallahu ghaniyyun halim. Allah is all independent and forbearing. So Hazrat Hussein written, Ghani basically means, another meaning is that rich and has all wealth. So even that you are spending, don't think that you've become rich. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is still the Ghani. Allahu Ghaniyyun Halim. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is also Halim, that even after the people who say things after spending money and keep a bad behavior or boast about it or cause hurt to the people, even then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not punish them immediately. This is hilm of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, forbearance on part of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Wallahu Ghaniyyun Halim. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is Ghani and Halim. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is all independent, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is forbearing, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not immediately punish, right away punish the people who spend in the path of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and then somehow boast about it. Inshallah, we'll continue reading these commandments of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the future. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, in the future ayat, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to give some very beautiful examples of how a person spends and expects reward, and then all of that, when they need it the most, turns to useless stuff. So may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect us all from that. Inshallah, we'll continue reading about it. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen, salatu wassalamu ala sayyidil mursaleen. ربنا ظلمنا أنفسنا وإن لم تغفر لنا وترحمنا لنكونن من الخاسرين. اللهم اجعلنا من أهل القرآن الذي أهلك خاصتك. صلى الله تعالى على خير خلقه سيدنا مولانا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين آمين برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين.